Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here. And the lands of Skyrim we get to visit in the Elder Scrolls V are quite vast, to say the least. Spanning across tundras, forests, and plains, this northern province has many sights to see and places to visit. A quick look at your map proves this, as hundreds upon hundreds of markers will be available for the player to seek out and travel to. But what if I told you that Skyrim also offered many interesting, well-designed, and sometimes even secretive locations that you can't find on your map? The community creatively refers to such wonders as unmarked locations, and Bethesda has littered them across Skyrim. So today we're going to be taking a look at what I consider to be some of the most interesting. Sit back and relax as we dive into 5 more unmarked locations you may have missed in The Elder Scrolls V. Part 2. To start this list off, we're actually heading a ways away from the mainland, instead going to the ash-covered island of Solstheim, where, just east of the great mushroom fortress of Tel Mithryn, the Dragonborn can discover an unmarked graveyard tucked away near the coast. Here will be a variety of sarcophaguses, with Dunmer inscriptions on them. Considering the site's proximity to Tel Mithryn, which was built, or grown, by Neloth, a powerful Telvanni mage, it's safe to say that those laying to rest here were probably Dark Elves, most likely loyal to House Telvanni, if not Neloth personally. That said, it's clear this rest hasn't been the most peaceful for all that were put down here, as guarding the cemetery will be an ash spawn, standing right next to an opened, and now empty, coffin. But once he's been disposed of, you'll be free to loot the remaining sarcophaguses. Or sarcophagi, I don't know what the plural is. Inside one will be a full skeleton with some leveled loot, pretty typical. In another will be a Staff of Calm, though we know this common belonged to Ildari Sarothil from a related quest. But, most notably, should you open the coffin furthest west, you'll simply find a lone human skull, with the rest of this former person's remains nowhere in sight. What went down here? Well, frankly, I'm unsure. Did someone come in and only steal part of what was once this person's body, but choose to leave the head? Was perhaps the head the only thing placed in the coffin to begin with? Whatever the tale, only the skull knows, and the skull, well, it's not talking too much. Next on our list, we're not even leaving the shores of this gray island quite yet, as just southeast of Thirskmead Hall, in the forest, is a very depressing spot indeed. Here will be what appears to have at one point been a campsite, shared by 2 Dunmer. Unfortunately, upon your arrival, their camp will have already been ransacked, and the pair will lie dead. They've been murdered to death. With Reichling spears and open chests lying all over the place, it doesn't take a Sherlock Holmes to conclude that this attack was the work of Solstheim Smurf-like natives. Furthermore, as if you needed any more proof, if you get too close to the location, you yourself will actually be ambushed by a small group of the Reichlings. They've been waiting in the trees. Thankfully, despite a valiant effort on their part, they will be no match for the Dragonborn. And with just a few swings of your sword, you should be able to put a stop to their scheme once and for all, ensuring they don't hurt anyone else. Alas, for this couple, you've unfortunately arrived just a bit too late. For third spot, we're finally headed back to Skyrim's mainland, specifically the hot geysers of southern Eastmarch, where, just east of the Eldergleam Sanctuary, a curious crate can be found seemingly just sitting in the middle of nowhere. We have no way of knowing what's inside this wooden wonder, however, atop of it are a variety of valuables, suggesting that either this is new or has been undiscovered for quite some time, lest they be stolen already. There will be a small assortment of soul gems, as well as a copy of the enchanting skill book, A Tragedy in Black, which is one of the more disturbing reads in Skyrim. I highly recommend you take a look at it for yourself. In summary, it tells the tale of a young, negligent boy summoning a Dremora for the first time in the third person. The boy understands a little of magic, but allegedly his mother was a novice mage, and after a bit of research, he was able to summon such a beast to do his bidding. You see, when a conjurer summons a Dremora to Nirn, typically that Dremora will be literally forced to follow that conjurer's orders. Even if they don't want to, they're physically incapable of not listening. That said, if the conjurer accepts a gift from the Dremora, then the illusion will be broken, and the Dremora will be free to act however they please. That part's about to become very important. The boy demanded the Dremora help him make a magical dress for his mother's birthday, but the Dremora was able to trick the kid into accepting a soul gem from him, freeing the Dremora from his binding, after which he killed his conjurer and trapped the kid's soul. And that's where our tale ends. It was written by an anonymous author. That said, the soul gems atop of this crate are empty, so surely they had no involvement in such an episode. At least I hope not. Getting close to the end here at number 4, we set our sights on the once mighty snow elven metropolis that is the Forgotten Vale. Now little more than an overglorified Falmer hideaway, the Vale once served as the de facto capital of the entire Snow Elven race prior to their near extinction at the hands of the Nords and enslavement by the Dwemer. Well, just underneath the bridge to the large ancient temple to Ariel, on the edge of one of the cliffs in this dry ravine, will be the remains of a very strange and clearly defunct mining operation. A skeleton will lie on the snow, next to a gold ore vein and his trusty pickaxe. Nearby will be a golden necklace, as well as a couple of flawless diamonds and golden ore pieces. Whomever this was had found a lifetime's worth of riches, though clearly never got the chance to capitalize on their discovery. The really weird thing here is that also next to the skeleton will be a Falmer sword, implying that either this long-gone miner was themselves a Falmer, or was at the very least killed by one. Both these possible explanations only really lead to more questions, such as what would a Falmer be doing looking for gold? They typically don't seem to have much of an interest in material wealth. But if this person wasn't a Falmer, how did they even get down here in the first place, and how long ago did they expire? Whatever the story behind this fortune seeker is, we'll never know. But it was nice of him to leave us all these goodies. And finally, last on our list, south of the Ladystone at the bottom of Lake Ilinolta, nearby Riverwood, the wreck of the Silvermoon sits beneath the waves. In the splintering wreckage, the player can find a chest containing some basic leveled loot, as well as the skeleton of the ship's former captain on his deck. He'll be holding on to a random leveled one-handed weapon. Now, the thing that makes this location stand out to me personally is that in the game, we don't actually learn anything about it, not even its name. No NPCs mention the vessel, nor is it associated in any quests. However, thanks to Skyrim's official game guide, we do have some context that gives us a bit of insight. Apparently the Silvermoon has been sunken for many generations, as according to the text, it's been at the bottom of the lake for as long as anyone in Riverwood can remember. Furthermore, the sheer existence of this ship suggests that Lake Ilinolta was at least at one point a considerably bigger body of water than it is today. As anyone who's really seen the lake before can attest, it's simply not big enough to necessitate a ship of this size, and none of the connecting rivers would have even been able to support it, so it couldn't have connected to a larger body of water even if it wanted to. So either this lake was at one point in history much larger, or the inclusion of such a wreckage was just an oversight by Bethesda. But such an assertion is preposterous. Bethesda making a mistake? Please. Next you're gonna tell me that the Thalmor don't actually have Skyrim's best interest in mind. You and your conspiracy theories. But with that tinfoily conclusion, we are going to wrap up. 5 more unmarked locations in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Part 2. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Which of the places we visited today did you find to be the most fascinating? And what unmarked locations would you like to see covered in the next video? Leave a comment down below. As always, like ratings are very much appreciated. Again, thanks for watching, and hope to catch you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.